Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Nige, and today is Epilepsy Awareness Month. So as you can see, I definitely do have my hair in pink and purple, and that's because purple is a color for epilepsy awareness. So a lot of people don't fully understand what epilepsy is, and they know the difference between epilepsy and seizure. So today we're going to set the record straight. Epilepsy is also known as a seizure disorder of the brain, by the way. And a lot of people can have seizures, but that doesn't mean that they're epileptic. So, CDC reported that around 1.5 million people do have a history of seizures. So, seizures is a very common neurological disorder, and it's not rare. It's not scary. It's a little like worrisome, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I should be scared of someone who has epilepsy and I don't know, like if I should go out with them. Like, I don't know. It's not. But we have to understand that Epilepsy Awareness Month is all about breaking down the stigma of people with epilepsy. We need to break the stigma because people with epilepsy can live very fun and fulfilling lives. Like, there's nothing wrong with living life, loving life, and dealing with epilepsy because seizures are very common. And seizures are also able to be controlled with medication. I know that I take medication and I also take medical marijuana. Yeah. So, like, that's always good and fun to be able to take medical marijuana because taking a lot of medication is not really good, but if it's helpful, then you need to do it. Like, it helps controlling your seizures, and your seizures can be controlled by taking medication. It's very well controlled. Now, I know a lot of people don't understand, like, okay, if you have seizures, like, does that make you automatically epileptic? No. Usually people that have 2 or 3 seizures, that's when they become diagnosed with, having a seizure disorder or being epileptic. And a lot of people don't know that because some people can have seizures and never have them again. I'm sorry, my hair's in the way. And never have them again. But if you're having seizures that's more than 1, 2, 3, that's when your doctor is going to diagnose you as someone who has epilepsy because they need to get you started on epilepsy medication at that point because we don't want you to keep seizing and seizing and seizing and then like you don't have the proper medication and you're not being properly treated well. And I know a lot of people get scared when people have seizures because it's not very common, and when people see other people shaking, they're just like, oh my god, like what's wrong with her? I know I've been stopped when I was at the beach and they thought that I was like drunk or something was wrong with me because I was like sort of seizing but also jerking because I have essential tremors on my left side. And I had to let them know, like, no, I'm not in high school, and no, I'm not having a seizure, but thank you. I don't need the whole judgy looks. Thank you very much. But if someone is seizing more than 5 minutes, it's very important to call 911. Very, very important to call 911 because if they're seizing after 5 minutes, that's very serious. Most seizures don't last that long. A typical seizure usually lasts between seconds and minutes. Like, for example, my seizures, they are like seconds to minutes. I know my mom's told me that I've had like staring spells where I'm just staring and I'm having a seizure. And my mom's also told me that I've seized in my sleep before. And luckily, like, she knows what to do. If I'm seizing in my sleep and I'm on my back, she slowly turns me to my side. And usually when someone's seizing, the best thing to do is to make sure they are safe. If they're on their back and seizing, especially in their sleep, you have to watch them very closely just to make sure they're okay. And a lot of people that are seizing, they either have staring spells where they just stare blankly, like my mom said I do, and then they have ones where you fall out and you just lose all consciousness. So there are different types of seizures for everyone, and just because you have a seizure doesn't mean you have to feel ashamed, because we have to break the stigma of the way people look at us, and we don't want the judgment. Like, the only people that have friends that have epilepsy are my Facebook friends. Like, I love reading their comments, I love reading their posts, and it's good to have that connection to other people so that way you're not feeling alone. And there are people who have epilepsy that understand what you're going through. And so for Epilepsy Awareness Month, I think it's really great for everyone to just consider, what are the ways that I can help someone if they have a seizure? Number one, make sure that you time it. You need to time how long they're seizing for. Number two, you need to make sure that if they fall out on the floor and they're seizing on the floor, everything around them is clear. You don't want them seizing and they hit something and they knock something over, or God forbid, like their head jerks and hits something, or their feet. Like, you need to make sure they're okay. And when someone wakes up from a seizure, don't crowd them. Do not crowd them. Do not touch them, because you know why? You may get hurt, and the person that's having a seizure may get hurt. And I know that from experience, because my school is a jackass for attacking me for my seizure. Anywho, you still need to worry about keeping them calm once they wake up. Once they wake up, just ask them, hey, are you okay? For example, my mom, she asked me, are you okay? Do you know what day it is? Do you know where you're at? Those are some really great questions to ask people that have just came out of a seizure. Because, like, some of us, we lose, consciousness, and we're confused, and we're scared, and we're nervous. Because I know I get scared and nervous. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up. I know sometimes I get a little bit nervous when I come out of my seizures. So, it's a lot. I get very, very nervous and anxious when I just came out of a seizure. And the worst thing to do is to crowd someone who just had a seizure, and to be like holding on to them, touching them, grabbing them. You're not supposed to restrain anyone who's having a seizure. Let them wait out their seizure. If it is more than 5 minutes, call 911. Call 911, because we all have to make sure that that person is going to be okay. But then you also, too, don't want to misjudge that person and think that, okay, they're having a seizure, like there's something seriously wrong with them, like, oh my gosh. Having a seizure is just like having an asthma attack. People have asthma attacks a lot, and people have seizures a lot, but you have to realize that seizures are just like having asthma attacks, and you don't need to judge them. We don't need to be judged. All we do is we need help if we're having a seizure, and we need care after we come out of our seizure. And that's the best thing you can do. So, part of Epilepsy Awareness Month, I will be posting videos on my channel, so make sure you subscribe. And I'll be making sure that everyone can be well aware and informed on what to do for people that have seizures. Hold on, I'm like really shaky because I'm doing this video, and like but I'm sorry, I have a unicorn cup. I know you guys saw that. But this month, we're going to focus on raising awareness because that's the most important thing. And we also need to raise awareness for people that are in schools. If children have epilepsy seizures while they're in middle school, high school, we need to make sure that we're able to take care of them. A lot of people need to be able to understand epilepsy first aid protocol, and not a lot of people understand that. And because a lot of people don't understand that, people with epilepsy, we get hurt, we get injured, we get judged, and it's not nice. It's not nice, and we don't need all that because we're just having a seizure. Like, we can't help it. And we're badass. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that have epilepsy and seizures are badass. I know, like, when I found out that I had seizures, I was just like, what? No, like, girl, bye Felicia. Like, no, I don't. And, like, I started having them, and, like, it was scary to realize that I had seizures, but once I was able to get on medication and I got my medical marijuana card, like, I felt a little bit more safer that, I can be able to somewhat control my seizures. And I also noticed too that there are triggers. So a lot of people that have epilepsy, there are triggers that trigger people to have their seizures. For me, I know that, like, if I'm angry, like if I'm really angry and upset, or I'm like really anxious, or it's just like if I'm really anxious or I'm really tired and I'm really upset or aggravated and agitated, I can somewhat end up going into a seizure. So I've lately been trying to watch my breathing and just take care of myself more. Like, I haven't been going out more, so I'm just really trying to focus on setting a regimen and a schedule and just a whole routine for me to have, so that way I'm okay with taking my seizure medication, which includes my medication, which I'll do another video on, and my medical marijuana, and to make sure that I'm not eating a lot of sweets. Like, my doctor said to stay away from caffeine. Like, so I stopped drinking coffee the minute I found out that I had seizures, I had epilepsy. So caffeine is a trigger for some people. And, stress is a big, like, stress is the ultimate trigger for people with epilepsy. Stress is not good for people with epilepsy, and it's just not. But don't worry. If you have a friend or a family member who does have epilepsy, try your hardest to just be there for them. Be there for them. If they have a seizure, ask them, how are they doing? Are you okay? Like, just be there for them. Be a good friend. Be a good person. That's all we need. We don't need someone judging us because we're shaking in public, or, like, we end up having a seizure and then everyone's looking at us and staring at us. That's embarrassing. I know sometimes I feel embarrassed. Like, if I wake up from a seizure and I wake up on the floor from a seizure, I get very embarrassed, and it happens. It happens to people, and it's something that I know that I will eventually get over, my whole fear of being embarrassed by everyone, but it takes time. And part of Epilepsy Awareness Month, we will be working on the do's and don'ts of what to do when someone has a seizure, and what is epilepsy first aid. So, I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you have any questions or you loved my video and you want to see more videos, please comment down below and stay tuned for more that I have to show you guys. This is Epilepsy Awareness Month, so enjoy, guys, and thanks for watching. Bye!